Hey guys, this is Thomas over here at NurseMoneyTalk.com, and in this video I'm actually going to answer a viewer question. This actually came on as a comment on NurseMoneyTalk.com. It was in an article that was talking about how to deal with difficult nurse preceptor. So here's the question. Currently, this was from Jay. And so Jay was asking, I'm currently in a position with a preceptor. I'm a new grad RN. My preceptor is an agency LPN where I am staff. She constantly takes calls on the floor, disappears, starts drama with residents and staff, doesn't follow proper procedure for many treatments / meds, and is now talking about me and telling my DON things that aren't accurate. Her and my DON are friends, and I don't feel I am getting the training I need from her, but I'm not sure how to approach conversation with my DON, as she is the one responsible for picking or setting me up with a preceptor. I was so excited about this job and nursing, but now I'm questioning if I should even be a nurse. The residents do not like this nurse because she treats them very poorly, and we're very excited to learn I would be staff and a constant for them. I need advice. How do I tell my DON I need a different preceptor? It's either that or find a different job. I really don't want to do that because I like this place a lot aside from my preceptor. Any advice? I'd like to approach this professionally with as little backlash from my agency preceptor as possible. About to answer that question. Before I get to that though, if you're not already subscribed, I want to go ahead and invite you to hit that subscribe button. On this channel, talk about all things related to nursing student, and of course nurse life. One other thing is, I do want to mention that of course there is no professional advice being given whatsoever, just from the nature of how these things go. There's a lot of context that is missed, and so so just kind of be mindful of that as you're as you're kind of taking what I'm saying. Take what I say with a grain of salt. Make sure you do your own, of course, due diligence and thinking before following any actions. Let's just go ahead and get right down to this, because this question was actually I had kind of answered this already on the on the blog, but I wanted to kind of bring it over here because I think this is a lot of things that that as new nurses we have struggled with, or even if we're not new grad nurses, but we could be a new nurse to a new facility or a new department, and then just dealing with a preceptor that just sucks. So there was a couple things that I was surprised at this. So we know it's a new grad RN. I was thinking, well, you have an LPN that's training an RN, but then I had to remember, there's a lot of LPNs with a lot of years of experience that know a crap ton more than a new grad RN. So I thought about that briefly, but the thing that I kind of honed in on was, I was very surprised that it was actually an agency nurse though, that it was an agency nurse that was precepting a staff nurse, and that was a little bit unusual. I thought it was a little bit unusual and kind of telling of the situation, because to me, I don't typically see agency nurses precepting staff nurses, generally because honestly, agency nurses, they're not as invested in the facility. They're just there to fill in a role, and a lot of them will be gone after their contract's over with. So they're not what I would consider the best the best preceptors typically for precepting any nurse, let alone a new grad nurse per se. But then there's some other things that then I took notice of this. So I took note in what Jay was saying. So for instance, the agency nurse and the director of nursing, they know each other, right? And so even though we know that based on the information Jay's given, that the agency nurse is not a good nurse, but we know that that he or she, I guess, is friends with the DON. And so this has to be taken, in my opinion, very delicately, because you don't want to approach it in a manner where the DON then ends up getting defensive about, oh well, this is my friend that you're talking about, and then that could then go sour really quickly. Given all of this, I was like, what is the primary objective? So as a new nurse, I think the primary objective is to get your training. And so then you can be a competent nurse. So that is ideally, if possible, is what I tried to focus on. So what I had suggested was to approach the DON. Well, first of all, I think before you start approaching anybody, you need to kind of read the room. You know, is this somebody who approaching them is even gonna make any difference? And so that's a call that you would have to make in situations like this. But you want to approach him ideally in a private place where there's nobody around, ideally in a scenario where they're not trying to prepare for like an audit or whatever the case may be. And then my recommendation is mention that, okay, I like the agency nurse. I think you could say, I think they're a good nurse or something like that. This is despite the fact that you know that they're not very good. But I'm thinking you don't want to put the DON in a defensive position. You want to me, like, prioritize your best interest at this moment to get the training that you need. So I like the agency nurse. I think they're a good nurse and whatnot, but I don't feel like we're clicking. I don't feel like our training styles are working out and are the same. Would it be possible for me to be precepted with another nurse? And then at that point, see where that conversation goes, and then just kind of adjust it from there. The reason why I wouldn't lump you getting a new preceptor, you looking out for your best interest, and and then that nurse being a bad nurse, is that if they're friends, right? And I don't know how good of a friends that they are, but let's assume that they're even remotely good friends, right? That they've worked for X number of years or something like that. The DON probably knows this nurse sucks at their job. That like you are not going to tell that DON anything that they're probably not already going to know. You're going to say that they're lying and they're bad with patients. The DON already knows that. And so that's why I would kind of hone in on one thing, which is to get you trained. The other thing that I would kind of keep in mind as well is, as you're looking and assessing this situation, right, and you're kind of pointing out the quality and the character potentially of this DON, right? And I don't know, maybe they're a good person. Maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't know that, that this is a bad nurse or poor quality nurse or whatever the case may be. You have to kind of make that call yourself. But as you kind of look how good this DON is, what you need to ask yourself is this even, given everything else that I'm dealing with, is this the place that I want to be at? What is keeping me at this particular place? Because what you will see is, if you go through a hard time at that place as a new nurse, and they do such a crappy job training you, there's the potential that you'll harbor some kind of bitterness towards them anyway. And so you want to consider, would I be better off leaving there, going someplace else? If for whatever reason you just wanted to work at that place at some point anyway, maybe leave there, go to another facility, another department or whatever, get however 1 or 2 years of training and experience, and actually get trained right, and then try to reapply or try to retransfer or whatever back to that unit. That is one approach to think about, because there's no guarantee that that you are as cordial as possible, you are as professional as possible, and you go in, you try to talk to the DON in a private setting, you can do everything right. The word gets back to that agency nurse, and then they're upset at you because it's all about how does that agency nurse take it. And a lot of people might not take it well, because they might just end up thinking, oh well, now I'm being rejected or something like that. Oh, I'm not good enough to train you or whatever. Not saying you can't overcome it. It does happen. It's just I think you kind of have to be aware that is a possibility. So if you really like the place, talk to the DON, kind of like, and feel out, see how that's gonna go. One other caveat that I will throw in there, I know you did not mention this, but I will go ahead and throw it in there as well, is just avoid situations where you overstep, go above the DON to whoever their superior is without actually directly talking to DON. That would technically be breaking the chain of command. That doesn't typically go very well, especially since once you do that, a lot of times the higher ups, they'll ask you, have you talked to this manager about it? Have you talked to the DON? You'll of course say no, and then they'll probably kick it back down to them anyway for them to deal with before they even get involved. So just kind of some things to think about. If you're watching this and you have some thoughts or opinions on how this should be kind of addressed, you can leave a comment in the descriptions. Leave your comment below. You can also go to the actual blog, the blog post where this question actually originally came from, and then you can leave a comment there as well. I'll leave a link to that blog in the descriptions below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Share this with anybody you think that might find this beneficial, and I will catch you very soon in that next one.